It's 16:05 right here on your hot station, number one for news and entertainment. And we do have two wonderful guests joining us in studio this afternoon. We're joined by Mr. Vaughan Lewis, who is principal at Crucible Lusaka, as well as Professor Ronald Kaulule, who is Zambian advisor to Crucible Lusaka. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Hot FM. How are you today?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is great to have you with us on the show this afternoon. And of course, we are going to be finding out a bit more about Crucible Lusaka and what it is that Crucible is all about. So to start things off, a bit of an introduction as to who you are and what we are going to be diving into this afternoon. We'll start with you, Mr. Lewis.
Hi, thanks so much for this opportunity to speak to you and your listeners. So my name is Vaughan Lewis. As you mentioned, I'm the principal of Crucible Lusaka, which is a new school opening here in January, February next year, 2025. And we're designed to support Zambian students that really want to make a difference in Zambia and who are prepared to become leaders of the future to help Zambia prosper even more than it is doing now. And we've got scholarships to support those students, which I'll be able to tell you about later.
Beautiful. And you, Mr. Lewis, a bit of your background and your experience in the education sector.
Sure. So my background's in secondary school education. I've taught and led schools in the UK, Spain, Thailand and Middle East. Most recently, I helped set up a STEM school in Qatar, which has been extremely successful in getting students to some of the world's best universities. And during my career, I also had a time working at Rolls-Royce, which is what's really given me my passion to help take real-world learning and challenges and problems students are going to face in the world and use science and engineering to solve those challenges. So this is what gets me up in the morning, the idea of being able to work with students here in Zambia and help give them those skills and passions to help spot problems, come up with solutions, and then help Zambia prosper.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Now, of course, we are here to talk about Crucible Lusaka, and let's also get a bit of, a background on what really inspired its creation.
So the school, Crucible Lusaka, is going to be the first of 100 unique schools here in Africa, and the idea is that we are going to help support students in getting those leadership skills, those skills needed to really help economies grow and build and become transformative within the region, within Africa. And so Zambia is our very first place to come to, and we're delighted to be here because recently I've been around to schools across Zambia and seeing the quality of students here and seeing the quality of the education they're getting. This is really going to help build on that and really give them options to develop in the future to make a difference here in Zambia.
All right, that is wonderful. Now, let's talk a bit about the mission of Crucible Lusaka.
So the mission's really clear. Our mission is to prepare ambitious students to become pioneering leaders for a prosperous Zambia. And that focus really helps us ensure we're going to deliver on that. So we're here really, and my role here is to help set up a school that really supports those excellent students that want to go even further and become the leaders of tomorrow. Beautiful.
Now to you, Professor, how do you see the mission of Crucible Lusaka meeting the needs of Zambian students and, fitting in with our education system?
Thank you very much. In the first place, let me state that my role at Crucible Lusaka is to advise and support the team in ensuring that the school meets the needs of Zambia and gives opportunities that build our excellent education system. Now, arising from what Mr. Lewis has just talked about, it's important to note that our education system has set for itself a number of goals, such as producing at least a capable learner who should be analytical, innovative, creative, and have a constructive mind. Now, all these are some of the ideals that Crucible is coming with it. And as Zambia, we like to ensure that we actually get this kind of teaching that will come through from Crucible Lusaka. So that at the end of the day, we have these students who will be creative, analytical, and so innovative. Remember, Crucible Zambia is anchored in three areas. Mm-hmm. That is STEM, liberal arts, and the other one is
Project-based learning.
yeah, leadership skills and project practices. Now, these 3 pillars are what actually you find in our education system.
Right.
Because as Zambia, we look forward to having students at a particular level who should be able to actually do what I've just stated about. And in this case, we're talking about students who will be at A-level status. For now, in the Zambian education system, yes, we have A-levels, but these are mostly found in other international schools. It's only now that there's a new education framework, which was initiated recently, but it will be operational, I think, 2027. This is what came out from the Ministry of Education. But by then, we as Crucible Zambia would have identified there would be scholars to undertake what Crucible Zambia looks forward. Remember, they are here to assist the Zambian child. We should be able to get the A-levels, get into higher institutions, good universities, and be able to do whatever, and then come back and offer the kind of leadership and service that would be required.
All right.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Now, earlier you did mention that Zambia is the first country that you are, partnering with. But why exactly did you choose Zambia for the first Crucible school, Mr. Lewis?
Well, Zambia is the perfect location for our first school because it's such a growing and ambitious country. And we know the students here have the ambition to do really well, to excel, and to become leaders that will lead not only Zambia, but the region and Africa. And so we saw this today. We visited the National Science Centre today, and we saw there teachers from across Africa coming to learn STEM skills here, to learn and develop curriculums together to improve education right across Zambia. And so this is the perfect location for us to work with all that passion that we have here and all those fantastic students that I've met and with unique ideas and things to offer Zambia and the region.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lewis, what drew you to the role of, founding principal at Crucible Lusaka?
Well, I'm very lucky because it's very rare in your life as in education that you get to start new things. And I've been part of that in Qatar, where I worked last, and now here. And be able to actually take your passions and take your ideas, develop them and pass them on to others is something I just could not resist. And knowing that this is such an amazing country, it drew me here. So I was really excited when the job came available, and I applied and was able to get that, because then it allows me to really put my passions into practice in a place that I know will appreciate it and will grow with what I've already learned elsewhere in the world that I can bring here and share.
Fantastic. If you're just tuning in, our guest in studio this afternoon, Mr. Vaughan Lewis, who is Principal Crucible Lusaka, as well as Professor Ronald Kaulule, who is the Zambian advisor to Crucible Lusaka. And of course, this afternoon, we're getting to find out more about what Crucible Lusaka has to offer. Now, Mr. Lewis, if you could just, briefly just share your education philosophy and how it influences your approach, to running the school.
So I really believe in educational excellence and academic excellence and helping those students, really capable students, of achieving even more. But I want to bring that to life through real-world problems and students having a real positive impact on the world from day one. So we're going to offer students the opportunity to work with projects that reach out into the community, reach out into local businesses to help solve real-world problems from the first day they arrive at school. And if there's anyone listening that would love to challenge some of our students next year when we open, I'd love to hear from you, because this is one of those things where we need your help to really bring the school to life and take the learning and skills that students have and put them into practice.
Fantastic. Let's talk about the curriculum that Crucible Lusaka offers. Let's talk about that a bit.
So, as my colleague mentioned, there are 3 key areas. We're going to do a STEM-focused curriculum, and that will be an examined curriculum through Cambridge International, which are the best recognised A-levels in the world. And they will open up opportunities for study at the best universities in the world, here in Africa and even globally. And that will ensure Zambian students have access to the best skills, the best knowledge that they can get. The second area is our liberal arts curriculum. That's where we're going to look at culture and arts, debating, thinking skills, all of those things that will add to a student's sense of the world and where they are and what it means to be Zambian in a global environment. And then finally, we're looking at leadership skills, and we'll be using project-based learning, which is, as I mentioned, that way of taking real-world problems and bringing them into the school from day one to make sure that those students can access leadership skills and practice whilst at school. So when they've finished their education, they can really become leaders here in Zambia.
All right, fantastic. I know we've touched on the importance of the curriculum and how it already aligns with the current education system. But let's talk about eligibility and application. There is a parent out there whose ears are they're very eager right now. The ears are itching to find out more about how they can ensure that their child is part of Crucible Lusaka. Let's talk about eligibility. Who is eligible to apply for Crucible Lusaka?
So any student who's going to be 18 or younger on the 1st of January 2025, who has completed their grade 12, will be eligible to apply. We're looking for students who have got excel within the STEM subjects.
Okay.
We're looking for students with a passion. We're looking for students who want to make a difference. And we're looking for students who are not afraid to take risks and not afraid to be mavericks and come up with new ideas. And so there are going to be only 30 places in the first year, so they're going to be hotly contested. So if you know that ideal student, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, fantastic. Let's briefly talk about the application process for prospective students. And of course, are there any scholarships or financial aid options available for the incoming students?
So the first step to apply is to apply on our website, cruciblelusaka.org, where there's an application form to complete. And yes, our founder is very, very keen to make sure that this opportunity is available to all Zambians, regardless of their background. So every student will be given a full scholarship at Crucible Lusaka. This will cover fees, accommodation, medical cover, laptop, uniform, and even travel to and from home at the beginning and end of each term. It's a residential school, so all students will live at the school. And this means that it doesn't matter your background, it's completely free to anybody who gets into the school.
All right. Before we get to find out about the contact details and any further information, Professor, from you, what does a school like Crucible Lusaka mean for the education system of Zambia?
I think we should appreciate the coming of Crucible Lusaka. It's trying to bridge what has been lacking in the educational system. As you are aware, our education system could only end up at O level, especially in public schools. You only found A levels at private schools. Mm-hmm. Although I'm aware that we have Hillcrest, DK, and one other school that are offering A levels. Now, with the coming of Crucible Lusaka, we'll try as much as possible to bridge this gap, and at the end of the day, encourage more schools to open up. And especially that with the coming of the 2023 new curriculum, we're expecting more to come through and have so many schools that will be offering A levels. But I want to state that the parents out there should not worry. As long as their children or students are high-class achievers, Crucible is there to offer them that kind of scholarship. And at the end of the day, this particular student should be able to perform well and be able to actually come in and able to assist the country as it develops in its economic setup.
Fantastic. Mr. Lewis, for anybody who wants to find out more about Crucible Lusaka, how do they get in touch with you and anybody at the school?
So the best way to get in touch with us is either through our website, which is cruciblelusaka.org, or you can call our admissions team on 096 354 4159. That's 096 354 4159. And we're really looking forward to hearing from parents, students who are excited about taking this next step and becoming leaders in the future.
Fantastic. Mr. Lewis, Professor Kaulule, thank you so very much for joining us on the show. And we definitely look forward to having you back to find out more about Crucible Lusaka.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Those were our guests this afternoon, Mr. Vaughan Lewis, who is principal at Crucible Lusaka, and Professor Ronald Kaulule, who is Zambian advisor to Crucible Lusaka. It's 16:21.